Good morning, Internet. This is the Old Fat Dad. Welcome to another beautiful day at the Goober Nation Gun Range. Well, actually, I'm not the Old Fat Dad. I'm Justin, and this isn't the Goober Nation Gun Range, though I wish it was so I could hang out with the Old Fat Dad. So, this video is just a little shout out to one of my favorite YouTubers, the Old Fat Dad. And we're gonna steal one of his video ideas today. So this is one of my favorite things that he does. My absolute favorite is the clay tests. But in his videos, he does what he calls a small game simulator. So he uses cans of dog food, wet dog food, as a small game simulator and shoots them with various 22 rimfire loadings and 17 HMR, 22 Magnum as well. But I think I have a bunch of different variety of 22 LR that he doesn't have, or at least I haven't seen it on his channel yet. So we're gonna steal a page from his book today, and I'm gonna test a bunch of those out on these cans of dog food today, the small game simulator, inspired by Old Fat Dad. He does a lot of rimfire tests, especially as of like the past couple years, but he does do center fire as well. But it seems to be about a 60-40 split, kind of, if you averaged it. So I like watching a lot of different rimfire stuff, some center fire stuff as well. So it's a good channel for a lot of these different rimfire tests, but he's got center fire stuff and a few other little random things here and there too, like accessory scopes, red dots, and stuff like that, reviews as well. But definitely go and give him a look, check his channel out, subscribe, check out some of his videos. Like I said, one of my favorite guys to watch. Go check him out. I think you'll like his content as well. Also, ironically, I'm not sure why he calls himself the Old Fat Dad, because he's not fat at all. Anyways, we'll get set up here and get started. I want to give you guys a sneak peek of some upcoming videos here. Been doing some caliber comparisons. We got pumpkins coming up because 'tis the season. I'll be doing semi-automatic pistols, shotguns, and rifles, which is why I have 16 pumpkins here. So we'll have those coming up very shortly. Ta-da! So I was hoping to get back to this video and doing the small game simulator of Old Fat Dad's. I did the pumpkin videos first because I absolutely had to get these done today. So I did get these done, pistol, shotgun, and centerfire rifle. But unfortunately I'm out of time here today, so you're probably going to see me do the whole dog food shooting at the other range, because I don't get out to this one but maybe once a month. Alright, here we are at the other range indeed. This is a public range, so if you hear gunshots in the background, I apologize for that, but that's par for the course here. So here's the ammunition I'm going to use today. I'll go over all these as quickly as possible, and I will be shooting these in the order that I mentioned them, okay? So we got stuff clear down here that's way subsonic, like CCI quiet. You're in a 700 foot per second advertised range. Going up to some heavy hitters, and then clear up to your super fast, super light, hyper velocity there, 16, 17, even 1800 feet per second advertised velocity, which, by the way, that would make that the fastest 22 long rifle in the world. A lot of people claim that these are mistakenly, when in fact it's the CCI copper. Most people don't know about those. So we're going to start out on the low end here and get faster and faster, okay? So, just wanted to point out that the whole point of this, and what the Old Fat Dad is always testing, is that we're trying to find what is the hardest hitting 22 long rifle round. So that's why I have 90% of what I have on this table here. The Quiet and the CB is just for fun, just to see what they do. Some of you probably heard of the CCI Quiet. Well, they make a segmented version of that, and I really prefer the segmented version because not only does it give you a lot more punch, you know, if you're actually using it for small game or pests or whatever, but the regular Quiets, they ricochet really bad, but these don't, because when these hit the ground they break up because they're segmented hollow point, okay? And I can see I'm gonna have to fight the sun all day to show you guys this stuff and focus and whatnot. And these are pretty cool. These are the Remington CBs. These are a 33 grain hollow point,
And you can see they're kind of segmented there, but they don't segment when they expand. That's just to aid in expansion. And they're about 730, 740 feet per second advertised. And those things, they mushroom really well at that low velocity, so I really like those. So then we'll move on to these, which, by the way, we have 12 cans of dog food, and I'm going to test 12 different types of ammunition. If you've counted this, it comes to 13, but that's where these come in. These are pretty much exactly the same. I'm pretty sure Winchester makes these for Browning, and Browning just slaps their label on them. The hollow points look identical, and the only difference is you get this little like crease in the brass on the Winchester, but I can almost guarantee you they're exactly the same. I haven't done my due diligence on research to see if that in fact is true. I did look for a little bit, but I couldn't find it. But the bullets look identical, big gaping hollow point. And I've also done gel tests on not only these, but pretty much everything you see here almost, except for maybe one or two. And yeah, they perform identical in gel as well. So we're only going to use one of these. I'm going to use the Winchester since it's more common. Most people know about that because the Winchesters were out before the Brownings. But I can almost guarantee you they are exactly the same. They just have different labels. And those, by the way, they're not the regular 36, 38 grain at 1200, 1300 feet per second. These are the more heavy hitting ones. 40 grain advertised 1435 on both of them. And then you got your CCI Velocitor here. This is a nice heavy hitter. 40 grain hollow point, advertised 1435 as well. This was pretty much the golden standard until, for something like this, hyper velocity 40 grain hollow point, until Winchester copied CCI. And then you got the Gila Interceptor hollow point here, which is pretty much their version of the Velocitor. Big heavy 40 grain hollow point at over 1400 feet per second advertised. Then we got the Federal Punch here. A lot of people like this. I'm going to throw that in there. Freaking stink bugs landing on me. I hate those things. 29 grain advertised. Well, they're advertised for out of a pistol, guys, at 1070 feet per second. Most of the stuff out of a pistol, you'll be lucky if you get 1000 feet per second. Your standard high velocity stuff usually comes in at like 900s or lower, depending on your barrel length. So this has a different kind of powder in it, plus that lightweight bullet, so you get a higher velocity out of short barrels. But they work well out of rifles as well. In my tests of them, they chrono about 1500 some feet per second, sometimes as high as 16 out of my Ruger 1022 there with an 18.5 inch barrel. And then we got this Eco stuff. This was all the craze for a little bit, and then it seems to have died off. So these are advertised 1706 feet per second each. This one has the Eco Speed. You can see it's got a flat nose there, much like the Punch, so that's actually a very comparable round there. They're both kind of shaped the same and high velocity. Now in my testing, I was only getting 15 to a maximum 1600 feet per second out of those. So very comparable to the Punch there. Only difference is I believe that one's a little bit heavier bullet. I don't want to waste any more time. 24 grain there, so it's actually a lighter bullet. Okay, so the Punch probably has more energy then because it's a little bit heavier, going about the same velocity in my testing. Then you got the Eco Power. This is a fragmenting version of that. So you got a wax filled hollow point there that fragments when it hits. The Gila Super Maximum hollow point, advertised 1700 feet per second, 30 grain hollow point, which is comparable to the Stinger here with a 32 grain hollow point, advertised 1640. And then a lot of people don't know about these. They used to market these as Quick Shock, I think. But it's basically the Stinger. You can see it's the same velocity, 1640, same bullet weight, 32 grain. But it's a segmenting bullet. So it splits into three when it hits instead of staying in one solid piece like the Stinger. And then last but least there, the CCI Copper 22. These are 21 grain. They're, I forget what it is, but it's like it's copper powder that's pressed into a bullet. Super lightweight, 21 grain, and 1850 advertised velocity there. So those are your true velocity kings as far as at least advertised velocity goes there. So anyways, like I said, a huge variety here. Most of this stuff I have not seen on his channel, but he's done like the Stingers and the Velocitors and the Gilas there and the Punch and the Ecos. So
He's probably done 50-60% of what I got here, but I got a good bit of stuff that I haven't seen on his channel. Like I said, I got some neat ones here and the copper and whatnot. So we'll put them all head to head today in this one single video, and this is the only time I'm going to take his idea, but it's just to give him a shout out. So plus I'm sure he'll enjoy the video anyways, but you guys make sure you go and check him out after this video and see his own testing. And also, guys, as a reminder, as I said a few minutes ago, I got gel tests on most of these. Check out the 22/rimfire playlist on the channel for all that and more. All right, so I think these are a little smaller than the ones he uses. Plus, they have a pop top, and all of his do not. But I was just kind of going for what was most affordable. This stuff isn't cheap. $1.50, $2 a can. So I'm going to do my best to aim for the blue ribbon there and hit that. I did a little testing off camera with all of those to see where they would hit, and I was surprised at only 10 yards. It was a difference of an inch or more where it would hit at only 10 yards between the slowest of rounds and the fastest of rounds. So I'm going to aim accordingly as we step up in velocity to try and get that blue ribbon each time somewhere on the ribbon. And so I'm sure we'll see some of these pop the top off and some won't. So the fact that it does have a pop top will be kind of interesting. I'm almost wondering if I should flip it like that and maybe it'll pop and shoot it up. I don't know. All right, so we'll get started here, but again, real quick in order, and I'll try to put this on screen for each one too. We'll go, let's start with the CB, then we'll go quiet segmented. We'll do this Winchester because, like I said, these are the two, so I'm just going to do the Win. Velociter, Interceptor, Punch, Eco Speed, Eco Power, Super Max, Stinger, segmented, and then Copper 22 there. That was interesting. It almost sounded like it hit the table. Go find out real quick. Oh, we're good. Make sure this thing's still recording for me here. Yep, we're good. Okay. So, there we go. Don't get much better than that. And there's our exit. So, actually it didn't do as much damage as I expected, so these higher velocity rounds will certainly help quite a bit. You'll see. So I'm just going to keep swapping the cans out at this point, and then we'll inspect them all in order when we're finished. All right, let's check out our results here. Looks like I got a little bit, I gotta clean some up there. So apparently pop top lids is not the way to go. So Old Fat Dad had it right using those sealed cans. I honestly didn't even think of that. It came in a 12 pack. I didn't pay attention. And so it didn't even cross my mind. I mean, it made for some interesting results though. So some of these surprised me as well. Some that I thought would jump and blow up didn't, and it's gonna be hard with my shadow here. So these were the REM CB entry exit. Then this was the quiet segmented. Doesn't look like it got to really segment in those 2.5 inches there. Let's see, then we were at that Winchester 40 grain 14 advertised, and you can see there's just a massive difference with that. There's the back side. Oh, get off of me. I believe Velociter was next. And then the Aguila version of that, Interceptor. Okay. I'm gonna go check where we were. It should be Punch, yeah. I pulled that one a little high. That was the only one I didn't practice with because I only had 2 shots of that. Pulled a little high, so apparently that hit high. There's a freaking Hornet, get away. Just like all the other hyper velocities, so I should have aimed lower for that, and I didn't. Nice hole out the back. And then Eco Speed there didn't do jack squat, in and out. And then this one surprised me a lot. This was the fragmenting one, whatever they call it, Eco Power. Nothing. Now these do fragment in gel. I've tested them, but they didn't do nothing through those cans there. All right, what was up next? I had Super Maximum Hollow Point. Look at that, and that's always my favorite. And we've had discussions about that, me and Old Fat Dad on this channel, so I've made him test him probably more than he wanted to, and at different ranges and whatnot. But look how explosive that is. A little out the back because it just detonates when it hits. And then so there is the Stinger, and as you can see, that hole is smaller than the Supermax, and it's a little bit bigger out the back. Yeah. And then this was the segmented, that was the Stinger velocity, so basically the segmented version of the Stinger. You can see there, more explosive damage there as it should be because it's a segmenting round, so basically it blows up when it hits. And there's the exit, and you can see a separate exit there because it did fragment. And then this was the Copper 22, and that didn't do a whole lot. Probably, well, a decent hole out the back, but not so much on the entry there. So I think clear winners as far as this small game simulator here would be the Super Maximum Hollow Point and the segmented, they just call it segmented hollow point now, which I think is kind of stupid, but the one that's 1640 feet per second. So as I said, basically it's segmented Stinger. You got a big gaping hole there from that too. So those two definitely hit the hardest on this small game simulator there. This is not quite true because I forgot about the ones up in the front there, but I'll get to that in just a second. Which I'm actually, considering all the pressure was released out the top when they popped the top there, it still made a massive hole where they went in there. So good overall display of energy there. And as you can see here, these two, I guess you would have had to pay attention when I was picking them up, didn't even pop the tops off. So, and this one's kind of popped, but not really. So yeah, those Copper 22s didn't hit very hard.
I didn't notice this until editing the video, but something to keep in mind here before I show you the pictures of the top 3 lightweight winners and the top 3 heavyweight winners. The 30 and 32 grain projectile winners, they really threw the can way off the table, several feet back behind the table. You can see that in the video. It just chucks them completely off the table. Whereas the 40 grain winners, it kind of just, they roll off the back side of the table. So those lighter, faster ones are dumping way more energy into the target, and you can see that it's just really throwing the can off the table. That said, the heavier ones are going to give you deeper penetration in real life on game animals. So these 6 here are the top contenders. They all did pretty close to the same amount of damage, except for maybe the Stinger there. I still think overall winner was the Super Maximum. And it doesn't really look like it here by as much of a difference there. But if you go through the video there, you'll see that it does have the biggest cavity in the front. So at the top left, you have that Winchester 40 grain hollow point. Then the top center is the Velociter. Top right is the Interceptor. Bottom left, Super Maximum. Bottom center is the Stinger. And then the bottom right is the quote segmented hollow point that is basically a segmented Stinger.
All right, well, that's going to do it there, guys. I got to go down there and clean that up and get out of here, but I appreciate you stopping in. Hope you enjoyed the test. Like I said, this was 100% Old Fat Dad's idea. He does that a lot on his channel, but he also usually throws in 2 liters and the clay blocks as well, which is my favorite. So we were just copying him here today just so we give him a shout out. And plus, like I said, I got a bunch of stuff that maybe he doesn't have access to, so I'm sure he'll enjoy this video as well. So make sure you go check his channel out, Old Fat Dad Goober. Old Fat Dad, if you're watching this, I hope you approve, hope you like the video. If you guys want to get any of the products you see in the video, like my target stand down there, targets, range finder here, the earmuffs I wear, shooting bag I always use at the rifle range, steel targets and more, the links are in the description. If you guys like this video, be sure to leave me a like, share it. But thanks for watching. That's going to do it for this one, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. And don't forget, check out the 22 and rimfire playlist on the channel.